Who pitched well this last series out of the bullpen? A lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
What about a guy that had to get back on track? And apparently I was very unreasonable with my thought about him on maybe Thursday night or Wednesday night.
Certainly did. Mr. Craig Kimbrell himself.
And Craig pitched what, Rocco? He got a lower leverage situation in the seventh?
A 1-2-3 inning in the 7th. Retired the Diamondbacks in order. And then in the 11th, that wasn't a low leverage situation, was it, Rip?
I don't think
the
so.
11th, when you start extra innings with a runner on second, I'd say it wasn't a low leverage situation. Wouldn't you agree, Zach and Kevin?
Yeah. Gets the dub. Yeah. Got the dub.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
And you know what he did? It's like, obviously, growing up in Pennsylvania, cheering for the Phillies, and, you know, you see a lot of my friends are diehard Phillies fans, and they were laughing when the O's signed Craig Kimbrell. They were like, this is what you're getting. And you saw a lot of Phillies fans and even O's fans. Listen, I get your frustration when your closer doesn't shut the door, because that's what you brought him in to do. And it's the frustration building because it happened time and time again. But I will say this, let's not forget, and I don't want to say, oh yeah, remember this. I don't want it to be one of those like basically forums where we talk about what he did. But I am going to talk about what Craig Kimbrell did. Through his first 11 appearances, he was fantastic. He had 7 saves. He was shutting the door. I think he gave up 1 earned or 0 earned throughout that span. And then the last 5 outings or so, he hadn't been good until he got in the 7th, took care of business 1-2-3, and then he gets in the 11th, gets out of that inning unscathed. That is a Craig Kimbrell you want to see. You want to see Craig Kimbrell. Listen, he's not in his 20s anymore. We get that. He's older. I don't want to even call it the tail end of his career, but when a guy gets to 35, 36, like up there in age, I guess that's what it's considered, correct, Rip? I'm not trying to knock the guy, but,
no, it's true.
You're getting up there in age right now. But the hope for Orioles fans in this fan base, what did you say? It's what?
It's May now, 13th.
It's May. I truly think and believe and do hope, because I could be completely wrong, but I do believe this team is going to be able to rely on Craig Kimbrell this season. I think you're going to hit some rough patches. You're going to see some bumps in the road with any pitcher. When it happens to your closer, and when it's a guy who's under the microscope like Craig Kimbrell, when Birdland really didn't like the signing to begin with, I can't speak for everybody, but it was a signing that people were very much on the fence about, because they were like, this is who we got to replace the reliever of the year in Felix Bautista. But Craig Kimbrell has not been terrible this season. He had a bad, rough patch, and hopefully he's past that and can go forward, and the O's can rely on him going forward. I get the frustration. I get you're ticked off. You have every right to be. But I'm telling you, give this guy a chance, and hopefully he makes the most out of it going forward as the season progresses and continues to go on.
And also, too, he's going to have – every pitcher is going to go through their situations. And I'm not saying that, like, again, objective. We weren't saying that it was a good stretch, and he will even tell you that. It's a frustrating, but the Orioles are going to need Craig Kimbrell down the stretch. They are going to need him. They're going to need all of their pitchers. And the thing that I really tell people, don't give up on these Orioles pitchers right now. This team right now, ERA-wise, is one of the best in all of baseball. This is a very, very talented group when you look at it from a team perspective here. And pitching-wise, the Orioles are 5th with the team ERA, 5th in all of baseball. And another guy, like I said, don't give up on it. I know people have been up and down on my guy, Big Mike Bauman. Big Mike went 2 1/3 scoreless. And I know people are saying, well, you want to get rid of guys. Don't be quick to write off pitchers that can have a lot of success for the team. And what you're seeing is guys can pick things up. And if they can do the things right, they can be a big impact for this squad. You got something, Rock?
No. I was just giving you a thumbs up to that.
Oh,
because
yeah,
I completely
thumbs up.
agree with it. It's like, you might look at us, some of you that are watching for the first time, and might think, oh, these are a bunch of homers right here. They're talking about Craig Kimbrell like he's this savior and he's going to save the team. It's like, that's not what we're getting at all. I get the fan perspective because I am a fan as well. You know, grew up watching this sport, loved it. I got ticked off when a closer blew a game. Even one game, you get pissed off. It is what it is. But I'm telling you, don't lose faith in Craig Kimbrell just yet. This is a guy that the O's hope that can take them maybe not necessarily to the promised land, but you hope that you can rely on him in late game situations going forward. And if he's not the answer, if it's not the case, Brandon Hyde will not hesitate to make the move to name another full-time closer. But right now, he's not losing faith in this Hall of Famer. He's not. This guy's a future Hall of Famer. And the way he goes about it is Hall of Fame-like, the way he, I guess, carries himself. So you hope that Craig Kimbrell continues to turn it around and trend upwards in the right direction going forward, and that he can be the guy that the O's brought him in to be, and that's to patch up the back end of the bullpen and not be Felix Bautista, but to be that placeholder for this season. And then you have that option going forward, and who knows, maybe they keep him again for 2025 as well.
We'll see what happens here. It's a good problem to have. But again, Birdland team's doing well. They are going to continue to battle and grind.